Hello, hello, hello. What's good, accountants on later? Happy Friday. So earlier today, I posted about Friday and I posted about when I was back in corporate America and what Friday meant to me. And sometimes, you just got to have a flashback. And, I had another flashback today, and the flashback was about pricing calculators. And I actually thought about when I needed pricing calculators and when I thought pricing calculators were the best thing in the whole world. Well, I've been at this for some time now, and I want to tell you that I don't think pricing calculators are the best thing in the world. So, by show of hands, let me know for those of you that are watching, how many of you actually rely on pricing calculators? Now, of course, everything that I'm about to say are my own opinions, it does not make them facts. Um, but these are my feelings, and I want to share with y'all my feelings about pricing calculators. Okay. I really want to talk about pricing calculators. So someone may be wondering and someone may be asking, what is a pricing calculator? So just to catch some of us up, pricing calculators are tools, usually spreadsheets or Google Sheets, that bookkeepers and tax professionals alike use in order to determine how to price their services. Pricing calculators are things that are usually given out in many marketing programs just because they know that you are afraid or scared to move forward without it. But what I want to tell you about pricing calculators is I want to tell you the cold hard truth. And the fact is that pricing calculators suck. Pricing calculators actually stunt your progress as a business owner. Pricing calculators prevent you from accurately communicating and understanding your own value within your profession, within your firm that you're pricing to your clients. And I want you to disagree with me because we can have a disagreement. We can have a discussion. We can have a disagreement without having a debate. And even if we had a debate, we can have a debate where we walk away at the end of the day and we are all civilized individuals and we're not always going to agree. So I think back to something that I heard Ron Baker say. Y'all know Ron Baker, the godfather of value pricing? And Ron Baker said that price is subjective and value is relative. And when he said that, I don't remember if he said it all together or if he said it all during the course of his speech, but I know I missed a whole lot of what Ron Baker said because I was hanging on to those two facts that I heard flow from his mouth. And I wanted to share that with you. And I want to share with you what that means to me, how that relates to pricing calculators, and why I think the pricing calculators are not a great idea. Price is subjective. What does this mean? This means that what I think is expensive may be very different than you. I'm not a big spender. So before I spend money, I think about it. If it's for myself, if it's a gift for someone else, then I'm a little bit more liberal. But I'm a simple person into simple things. So price is different for me than a lot of people. And it has nothing to do with how much money I have. It has something to do with the way that I value material things. And value is relative. So, if an example of that is if I need to get my taxes done because I'm about to close on a huge business property, I may be willing to pay you whatever so that I can get that done in the next 24 hours. Whereas if it's January 1st and I'm just thinking about getting my taxes done and I'm shopping around, I may not have a great sense of urgency. That tax return is not that valuable to me. Maybe it's a personal tax return and I know I'm getting a refund and I know that I can claim my refund in 3 years. Well, I'm not going to be as eager. It's not going to be worth as much to me. I may see that as an easy assignment. So, pricing calculators don't take these things into consideration. Yes, I see pricing calculators as a crutch. We use pricing calculators because we don't really understand our value. There, I said it. We don't really understand what we're doing, how much it's worth. So we rely on these pricing calculators to make us feel better. We use these pricing calculators because we're afraid that we're going to cheat ourselves. We're afraid that if we say our price and that price is too low, that it's going to be egg all on our face because the person down the internet street or across the way is getting two or three times the amount of money for the same amount of work. So we feel like we'll feel stupid. Has anyone ever been there? Has anyone ever seen this? Has anyone ever quoted a job and then you finally got to digging deeper and found out that they were paying the last accountant a lot more than you? How did that make you feel? Have you ever been let go and then they actually went to someone more expensive? Maybe I'm the only one that has had these types of things happen in business, or maybe I am one of the only ones that just don't care and don't mind sharing it with you. So we use pricing as a crutch. We use pricing calculators as we use pricing as a crutch, period. I cannot tell you how many accountants, bookkeepers, and tax pros I have talked to in the last 6 months that said, I really want to start marketing my firm, but I need to understand pricing. I think that's backwards. I think that in order for you to really understand pricing, in order for you to really understand your value, the difference you're making, the transformation that you are taking your clients through, I think that the only way for you to really understand what it costs you, be it opportunity costs or being actual cost of staff or cost of applications, the only way for you to really know is to actually do the thing. And if you aren't doing the thing, marketing, selling, growing, because you don't have a calculator, you are never going to really get to know and really understand. Someone is being honest with me. So and I want you to talk to me, but understand it's like a 30 to 50-second delay. So we sit here and we say, well, I can't grow my firm because I got to get a pricing calculator together. Y'all know the same pricing calculators are being circled among the internet. The same pricing calculators that I'm seeing are being used, different renditions of it, from one program to another program. Most people are being honest and saying they're not the originator or the creator. Everybody just tweaks and put their own spin on it. Just a second. I was on with chat support and they were taking forever, so I came to talk with y'all. So anyway, these pricing calculators are not actually doing you the service that you think they're doing you. They're actually crippling you. You waiting for a pricing calculator. So basically, when you're waiting for a pricing calculator, you're basically waiting for somebody else to tell you what you're worth. When you won't join a coaching program because they don't give you specific instructions on how to charge, you're saying that that person knows your value more than you know your own value. That's what I hear. And that's because you actually have to understand the scope of what you are doing. You ever go to get a job and you can't get the job because you don't have experience, but you can't get experience because you can't get the job? Have you ever been in that situation and seen how frustrating it is? It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's the same thing when you can't market your business because you don't have a pricing calculator. But I'm not done with pricing. You have to understand that everything is different. Something that may take one person 30 minutes to do may take someone else 2 weeks to do. Is the value the same to the person doing the work? Probably not, but it probably is the same to the recipient of the work. Now, the only time that I see that pricing calculators actually work pretty decently is when you are highly niched and you really know who you're working with and you really know what you're doing and you're somewhat doing the same thing over and over again. You got good routines. Um, you have people that are serious at what they're doing. Then I see pricing calculators working, but at that point, when you got your stuff down to the science, you don't really need pricing calculators as much. Yes or yes? Let me know. So most pricing calculators include a function of time, despite the fact that we want to get away from hourly billing. We don't want to do hourly billing because we feel like we're trading our time for money. And I've heard some people say it makes them feel as if they're a prostitute. I thought that was hilarious. So we don't want to bill hourly. We want flat rates, so we want value billing. But yet, the pricing calculator adds in a component of time. It adds to the component of hours. I don't understand. Either we charging by time or we not charging by time. But if we're not charging by time, why does your pricing calculator have an element of time? Now, I know what you're gonna say because I'm an accountant, and you're gonna say because you wanna make sure you don't go below a certain hourly rate despite the fact that you're not pricing hourly. If you're not pricing hourly, you really need to completely detach yourself apart from this hourly pricing. If you're not pricing hourly, you shouldn't be worried about how much time that it takes. You should be worrying about how much outcome it pours out because then that's going to determine the price that you're going to command. But when you get hung up on these pricing calculators, especially if you have no clients, y'all can't be afraid to lose some and to lose some. Y'all do these proposals, and if you've been on my close deal on your lunch break training, you know how I feel about proposals. I think they're of the devil. But y'all go and y'all send these bids or proposals, whatever you're sending out to these people, and you're waiting for them to come back. But before you even wait for them to come back, you're scrambling, typing numbers into your pricing calculator. How many times y'all type them numbers in and you fill out all the cells, and then the number calculate, you're like, no, that's too high. Let me try it again. Let me modify this number. No, that's too low. So when you try to do this and you try to use a pricing calculator, and then that pricing calculator doesn't even work the way that you want it to work, you say the pricing calculator is bad. But the problem is not that the pricing calculator is bad. The pricing is that the concept of pricing calculators altogether is bad. The problem is you have to learn to be your own pricing calculator. You have to learn to trust yourself. You don't learn to trust yourself to ride a bike without training wheels and falling until you started riding your bike and pedaling and riding training wheels and not falling. And sometimes you fall. Sometimes you get shaky. Sometimes it happens. But guess what? You just get better. You can't be afraid to pay your dues. You can't be afraid to lose some. When I first started out, I did something that I am not encouraging you all to do. It worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you. But I hired this coach and she was mean. But I hired her because she was the best. I don't work with her anymore. So don't call me tagging nobody. I'm crazy. I'm talking about that. This lady was in the childcare industry. But I hired this coach and she was absolutely mean. And she told me that my pricing situation was too complicated. I was trying to figure out how to get clients, and she was trying to help me get clients, and she was trying to understand what the pricing looks like. And I had like a if and statement. It was like a chart. If it's this, then it's that. Then you gotta add this and subtract for that and multiply by this. And she said, Shanita, the reason why you ain't selling and the reason why you ain't making no money is because it's too complicated to understand your pricing for you. It's taking you too long. And her, as the buyer, because she was my ideal client avatar, she said she had no way of understanding. She would want to not feel cheated and not just understand the different strokes for different folks or different price for different people. She said it would need to have some sort of rhyme or reason for her to not feel like she was being taken advantage of. And I disregarded what she said because what she wanted me to do, she wanted me to basically pick these prices and decide what my prices were gonna be, and she just wanted me to sit with it and just stick to it. And I didn't wanna do that because I knew and I didn't know everything at the but I knew that some things would be more worth and some things would be worth more than other things. It took me 2 years. No, it didn't take me 2 years. It probably took me a year to realize that she was right. And in the beginning, I productized my services. Close your ears, Mr. Hector Garcia. Close your ears, Mr. Ron Baker. Mark Wickersham, close your ear. I respect all of those gentlemen. I follow all of them. I think they are amazing thought leaders in our industry. But I needed to make money and I needed to make money fast. And I needed to be able to make money easily. And using these price calculators was not facilitating my ease and speed of making money that I needed to make. So I came up with this pricing. I came up with what I was doing. And basically, whenever a person said they wanted to work with me, I could tell them exactly what the price is. Today is June. So I know I need to do accounting for January through June. I need that price, and then I need to know the prices going forward. So once I systematized it and productized it, then I was in a position to be able to make decisions faster. Did I get some clients that I didn't charge enough? I basically created myself an extra value meal. And did I get some people that paid less and some people that paid more than they should have? Yes. But it all balanced out in the end, and I came out on top in the end. And then after I got all my clients together, I went back and I looked at who was paying what. Because now I not only had clients, but I honestly had more clients than I could handle. I also was smart enough to have a clause in my engagement letter to cover me to be able to increase this. I'm really good at QuickBooks. I was fast. I know how to do a lot of work really quickly. So to me, my primary goal was to grow my firm. My goal wasn't to be the best pricer. And you know what? You ain't gonna get rich off of every client. Each individual client, you should not see that one client as your means to keep your entire business. So the truth about pricing calculators is they cripple you. Pricing calculators cause you to be at a standstill. If you're serving different clients and they're in all different industries, they're all different sizes, and you're trying to use this one size fits all pricing calculator on them, it's never going to work. You're going to find yourself in situations where the pricing calculator tell you to charge one thing, and then you go back and look at what it said, and you decide that you absolutely disagree with it. And so then you still end up having to come up with your own pricing anyway. And most of the time, you're just scared of what the pricing calculator says, or you feel the need to use a pricing calculator because you don't know yet what you should be charging, because you don't know yet how to value what you do. You are never going to learn how to value what you do until you're able to bring it to the marketplace and do it, until you're able to actually have clients, not prospects, not leads, but actually clients, people giving you money, right? So tell me, I want y'all to talk back. Oh, Dawn said, "This is good. This is your problem." Thank you, Dawn. I'm so glad I could help. So pricing is not your problem. If you price somebody and you price that somebody too low, you can have it set so that you can come back and you can increase it. I have priced people too high, and I have discovered their business really wasn't what I thought it was, because sometimes clients don't give you the right answers anyway. A lot of people that come to me don't have accounting to begin with, or they may have an accounting software, but their accounting software isn't updated anyway, so I really have no clue what's going on in there with your business. And if you're pricing by the number of transactions, please stop. Please don't do that. Because when you price by the number of transactions and you tell the person you're pricing by the number of transactions, and then the number of transactions decrease, now you don't know how to predict your revenue every month. They don't know how to predict their expenses, and you're constantly being watched. And now you've reduced the expertise that you're able to provide to the amount of transactions. A smart person would just learn to go to the store 4 times a week so that they can have less transactions. If you're pricing based on anything other than actually understanding what you have to do, you are cheating somebody, be it yourself or somebody else. But the biggest person you're cheating with these pricing calculators is yourself. The biggest person you're cheating by saying you can't grow your business because you don't know what to charge is yourself. You will never know what to charge until you get started. I tell my students, and I got this from my friend's husband, you need to learn to fail fast. You need to not be afraid to make mistakes. You're in business. You are in business. Business is all about risk. No risk, no reward. If you can't take the risk on yourself to make a decision that may not be the best decision and learn how to use that information, what are you in business? For those of you that work in construction and y'all talk to the job costers and the estimations and all of that, and you want these business owners to do job costing, you want them to do job costing so they can understand the profitability per project. But yet, my construction people, I love y'all. Y'all be the main people asking for what price. The main people. Service-based people are pretty easy, so I'm just gonna rattle off some pricing methodologies and help you. By the way, in my program, the Accountants and Letter Members Only program, I do teach pricing. I do give you, a whole spiel, but I do give you access to my primary methodology for pricing. But here we go, and I want y'all to tell me which method you're using. You got value pricing. You got people that price by the hour. You got people that price as a percentage of revenue. You got people that price based on the amount of transactions. You got people that just pick flat rate pricing. You got people that will price based on a certain increase of percentage of what the prior account charged. You got people that are out here asking people what their budget is for accounting, and then that is what they're charging. But the point is, all of these people are out here doing and charging, and you're still sitting on your hands, stuck in a rut because you need a pricing calculator. I do give my people pricing calculators. I told them, so I'm not saying nothing to them that I ain't telling y'all. I mean, I'm not telling y'all nothing I didn't tell y'all. It's just a it's just a security blanket. Because after you get done talking to your avatar, intimately knowing their business, knowing their industry, knowing the value you provide, knowing the efforts that it takes from you, you're able to hear somebody and listen to something and spit out a price and sleep well at night and not worry about was it the wrong price. 'Cause if it was the wrong price, you have a plan in place to remedy that. And we compare ourselves to one another, probably too much. You compare yourselves. I hear people on I don't hear it as much, but people on the internet, they get to talking about price. They say, "Well, I'm in a small town. Well, I'm in New York. Well, I'm here. Well, I'm there." I think maybe for brick and mortar people, that might be big of a factor, and maybe in the tax preparation space, that might be big of a factor. But I think that all of that is just baloney. It's all excuses to not move forward. You're waiting for permission from a spreadsheet to move forward. A spreadsheet or a, Airtable document or something. And I created this pricing calculator on the fly for my people, and it works. And I had to pull up their clients and testing them. But that's just like a hold you over so you feel better. So Dawn says, "I'm just getting started and got stuck with pricing to market. Thought value pricing will work. I can't wrap my head around it." I said, "Oh, bless your heart, Dawn. I'm glad I could help you." So let me talk about value pricing. I don't actually do value pricing. Very few people actually do value pricing. If I'm talking to a business owner, I will tell them I'm doing value pricing. Most value pricers have a component of value pricing, but they're not truly value pricing. Because when you truly are value pricing, it's very rare that any two people would pay the same fee. Because and I'm going back to Ron Baker. If I'm in the middle of a supermarket and you tell me to give you $20 for a bottle of water, and I know that I can get a bottle for I can for $20, I can get a couple cases of water, Imma roll my eyes at you. "No, thank you. That's not a good deal." But if I'm in the middle of the desert and there's no water for miles, and you ask me to give you $20 for a bottle of water, I'm gonna give you that $20 and whatever else you want. Why? Because I need that water more in the desert than I would at the supermarket when I'm surrounded by cases of water for lower prices. When we bill hourly, we get hung up at, "I need this amount of hour, that amount of hour." Well, what happens when you get better at your work? What happens when you're able to do more faster? You screw yourself. You know why? Because now you can get your work done in half the amount of time, so you have half the amount of hours to make half the amount of money, and now you need double the amount of clients because you price it by the hour. What happens when you price by the number of transactions? When you price by the number of transactions, when their transactions go down, you go down. Think about the transaction people during the pandemic and certain businesses that were running very minimally, and they didn't have as many expenses. What do you think happened to them? So, I hope I gave you all something to think about. Did I give you something to think about? I hope I confused some people. I even hope I rattled or angered some people because I want you to think, this is your business. Stop going to these coaches. We tired, y'all, of wanting people to determine. Your coach is not your pimp. It's not their job to decide how much your work is worth. They can give you guidance, they can give you suggestions, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to understand what your worth is. And the best way to understand what your worth is honestly doing the work. Don't be afraid to lose some because you won't know what it is to win until you lost. You won't know what it is to win until you sit there and you like, I can't believe this isn't worth it. Do I want you to go through that? No. But would I rather you go through charging too little and you're actually charging than you're not charging anything and you're busy doing all these different calculators and comparisons? No. I picked 3 prices and I said it's gonna be this, this, and this. This is what it is. Pick your poison and let's go. And then after I did that, I went back and I analyzed what I would have charged had I used this pricing calculator and that pricing calculator, and some of them are just outlandish. Some of them were just wrong. I did one program, it was a really good program, and the first version of the program that they put out, they had a calculator, a pricing calculator. But then after a couple years, the creator took the pricing calculator away and they never put it back. And you know why I believe she never put it back? I believe she never put it back because she realized that the pricing calculator might have worked really well for service-based businesses, but maybe for construction or e-com, the pricing calculator wasn't representative of all the work that was included. So maybe you need help with pricing. Maybe you need help with marketing. Maybe you need help with workflow. Maybe you need help with team building. Maybe you want to run ads. All of those things, that's what we do inside of my program, Accountants Unladdered, members only. So if you think this group is good and if you think I show up here, I really show up over there and you need the support. So I'm not just a coach or a marketer that woke up one day and saw an opportunity in the accounting space and perpetrated myself to be one of you. I actually am one of you. I actually do taxes, do accounting. I have a team. I talk to clients every single day. I'm not that far detached or removed from what's actually happening out here in what I call the accounting streets. I'm not that far away to actually understand what you're going through each and every day. So if you need help with this or anything else it takes for you to add an additional 100K or to reach your first six figures, you should really get with me because we have 5 spaces left in our program, and on the price is increasing next week. So next time we open the doors, the price is coming in at a higher rate. But because this is my community where you all show up and show out, I wanted to give you all fair notice and opportunity to join us while the price is still at the lowest it will ever be. So, if you have any more questions about pricing, if you have any comments about pricing calculators, if you want to know about the members only program, comment below and myself or someone on my team will get back to you. Talk soon and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.